This one I wanted to watch. I have one saved to a playlist. Let's go back.
Tape became the most.
Yep, this one. The Johnson and Johnson.
The lack of research that was done on those products.
Joe Biden says that it's safe and effective, but like he didn't know.
There's no proof. I mean, none of that stuff was safe and effective. People wanted it. Who gave it to them? It's like, all right, you know what? Cancer patient's gonna die anyway. I'm sure somebody's gonna get sued for that stuff eventually.
Spicy Johnson and Johnson news. He's fine. Leave him alone. He's fine. He'll come to you if he's not screaming. We're good. As long as he's not screaming, we're okay. He can whine quietly upstairs. He's doing it somehow. You're fine. Well, anyway, back to the spicy news. This is on the O'Keefe Media Group. They have an undercover reporter, I believe, interview this this dude over here in the corner of the picture, about the Johnson and Johnson vaccines for COVID. And there's a lot going around about it. Potentially a lot of lawsuits going to be happening about the Johnson and Johnson. And myself personally, I didn't get the jab. I was fortunate enough with my work that they didn't necessarily require you to, but if you didn't have it, they basically made you stand out by wearing a mask. And if you did have it, you didn't have to wear a mask anymore. So I think that was against the law in some aspects, but I don't believe anybody ever brought it up.
Hi, Josh. Are you Josh Rice from Johnson & Johnson?
Okay, Josh Rise. Let's look him up. Well, that's on their website. Johnson & Johnson Innovation. There he is. Regulatory Affairs Associate Manager as part of the consumer division of Johnson & Johnson. Have hands-on experience with many different classifications of products, including NDAs, homeopathics, cosmetics, OTC drugs, medical devices, and mobile medical equipment. I have specifically focused on U.S. regulations and am developing experience with global regulations. So that's who they're interviewing. That's who you saw at the beginning of the video.
You're going to deny your identity?
Yes, sir.
And you said that your vaccine was not safe and
Whoa.
effective.
Leave her alone, Eli. Trying to ride the dog.
Deep inside Johnson & Johnson's global machine is a scientist, a lead scientist, whose very approval or disapproval of J&J products can change millions of American lives. Meet Joshua Rees, a lead regulatory scientist at Johnson & Johnson. Joshua, in his role, leads the creation and execution of regulatory strategies for new and existing products across Johnson & Johnson.
We run the whole soup to nuts. Like, not only are we working on the products, but everything that has to do with the drug. We have to make sure you understand how to use the drug, how to be able to, prescribe certain pieces of information, how to communicate that to the patient.
Now, according to a Johnson & Johnson press release from December 2021, the safety and well-being of those who use the Johnson & Johnson vaccine continues to be our #1 priority. Now, for the first time ever, an official from Johnson & Johnson admits to our hidden cameras that the Johnson & Johnson COVID vaccine was, quote, not safe and effective, unquote. And the company wanted to, quote, Just throw the vaccine creation to the wind and see what happens, unquote.
You know, they're like, Joe Biden says that it's safe and effective. But, like, he didn't know.
There's no proof. I mean, none of that stuff was safe and effective. We didn't do the typical test. Like, the typical process, that's why it takes so long to get a product on the market. Typical.
It was rushed. That's why. They didn't complete all the necessary tests, and who they did test it on were cancer patients because they weren't worried about the after effects that they were going to have. And so those are short-term tests. They don't know the long-term effects of this drug, and that's an issue. They never did. They never experimented that far. Obviously, they didn't get a chance to. It was the government rushing them out, which is sick. Sorry, I'm having issues with my tablet now. Use my tablet to control some stuff on the computer, and it's not connecting. Let's see. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. Is it an internet issue that I'm having? Some live still, right? Yeah. Unfortunately, yesterday I had the power go out on me, so that that was a fun turn the Wi-Fi off and turn it back on again. Preferences. Connecting. Saved. Yeah, I know it's saved. Okay, we're good. There. Let's try to reload this app. Such a pain. Technology is a pain. Only when it works. Only works when it wants to. There we go. Okay. Awesome. Nope, we're not normal. Now we're normal. Okay. But that's what it is. It's a fun little voice mod program I can go through and select some of the voice modifications that I want to do. Like I can sound like a
banana if I want to, and you guys won't know the difference, even though it's probably an annoying voice.
we can go all vocal and do some cool sing songs and do it that way if we feel like it. But I really wanted it for the soundboard. I thought that was pretty cool. So we're back to normal. Okay. I just have to double check it. But yeah, that's what I'm using the tablet for. We're getting fancy. And close that and you need a video.
Process is all this clinical trial testing and stuff in a small population. This was just, let's test it on some, lab models, analyze and see if it works and stuff like that, and just...
Yeah, they just checked to see if it eliminated the virus. They didn't look at anything. They didn't care to look at anything, I guess you could say, and the government allowed it to be that way, which is kind of sickening in my opinion.
Roll it to the wind and see what happens.
People didn't know that. Like, the patients.
That's what I'm saying. I'm sure somebody's going to get sued for that stuff eventually.
The lead regulatory scientist for Johnson & Johnson went into detail about how the federal government applied heavy pressure on Big Pharma in order to hastily create the Johnson & Johnson.
I'm almost wondering if I shouldn't move that camera over here behind the main monitor, but I'm not sure.
Do you have any idea?
Not sure how I like it.
Lack of research that was done on those products.
I like it this way or not.
Shouldn't be surprised.
I probably like it better that way better.
Pretty much, the government
It always gets moved by the dog.
pharmaceutical companies and kind of pressured the pharmaceutical companies.
I mean, people don't understand what medicine does to them. I mean, the medicine that I'm on is causing, you see my side of my face here, all this eczema. Just crazy rashing, scabs, and just itchiness on my face. I actually had to shave my beard this morning because it was just getting so bad and clumped up with dead dry skin, and I had to get rid of it. So no beard for me for a little bit again, but I'll probably get lazy and let it grow in and then still have the same issue underneath of it.
Because we're not going to say no to the help, like the government. Like the government's like, yo, these three big ass companies, we need help. We need to figure this out. You're solving this problem.
Is that Operation
Again, like Operation Warp Speed accelerate COVID-19 vaccine development status and efforts to address manufacturing challenges. Obviously, Warp Speed probably isn't the best thing to do for medicines. You want to take your time for that. And if these weren't in development already, even though they said that they were in development, I don't necessarily believe them.
Warp Speed?
I mean, we basically just had a race to figure out who could solve it best. Like, people wanted it. Who gave it to them?
The CDC has previously announced they're pulling the J&J vaccine from use in the United States. J&J claims this is due to the vaccine's declining use and the company's strategic shift away from the vaccines. But as you just heard, J&J's own regulatory scientist was well aware of the ineffectiveness of their own COVID vaccine.
There's something side effect that's going to happen. And it's more or less, all right, what's the worst side effect that's going
They don't even know. They don't know what side effects it was going to have.
to happen? And is that better than the benefit that the consumer's going to get? It's like, that's the interesting thing that I've found about it, because it's like, all right, you know what? Cancer patient's going to die anyway. So quality
That
of
doesn't
life
justify it.
in that instance, as opposed to whether you're curing something. You're not curing anything at that point. It's just, all right, are you going to have a nicer 6 months?
Now, I caught up with Joshua Rye in Toms River, New Jersey.
Yeah, this is interesting. This whole encounter he has with this guy is so interesting.
Sure, to get clarification on what he meant by his comments on hidden camera. What led him to say this? What led him to tell a total stranger that his product was not safe and effective? Here's a little sneak peek of how this went. This is one of the most extraordinary interactions ever, maybe rivaling the one that I had with the other guy inside Pfizer back 2.5 years ago. Are you Josh Rice from Johnson & Johnson? You're going to deny your identity?
Yes, sir.
And you said that your vaccine was not safe and effective. You said that. You know, where is he going?
He's running. He's running.
He's going to the women's restroom. Are you confused? I am a human man. I am allowed to take a pee in the men's restroom. You shouldn't be surprised that this happened. We have no idea. People, I got it from your mouth.
No.
Stand
Yes, you
behind
did.
what you said and explain to us what you meant by it. Undercover investigations like these carried out
He didn't want to stand behind what he said and what he meant by it.
by our OMG undercover journalists are pulling back the veil on the corruption and lies in our government, in our corporations, in the pharmaceutical industry. Remember, sometimes 60, 70, 80% of revenue for cable news organizations and other organizations in the news business come from Big Pharma. The last time we did an undercover investigation into Big Pharma, like Pfizer, just a couple weeks later, I was indefinitely suspended from the organization I created. But we are going to report the news and tell the truth without fear and without favor. But we need you to reach out to our tip line at tips@o'keefemediagroup.com or send us a message on our signal. That's 914-491-9395.
Give the
You
receipt.
can even connect with me on Minect, the app, and ask me, James O'Keefe, a direct question. I'll get back to you. One of our reporters will get back to you at the other tip lines. Thank you, and stay tuned.
I thought that was an interesting first video I saw. He posted it 3 hours ago. And just weird junk going on inside of the pharmaceutical industry, and I don't like it. Do not like it at all. And what else did I see? I thought Drews were attached.